Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson, and I'm back today with another 11 trades I did. I wanted to end the week with a very good total, and it is again well over 100 pips. And when I'm trading, my goal is getting 100 pips or more, of course. So I did a bunch of trades. I even pulled up other pairs that I don't normally trade, as these last three right here, and I even threw in the S&P 500 because a trader asked me if I ever trade the S&P 500 and will the pro scalper work on futures, and the answer to that is yes. Pro scalper will work on anything that your MT4 platform offers you. Now these first 5 pairs here, I was more or less just scalping, just aiming for anywhere from 2 to 10 pips, and of course everything above 10 pips, I would call that a bonus. So let's go through these pairs. First one is the pound Swiss. Took a bunch of these trades. Most of these trades were taken around between 8 and 8:30 this morning, except for this first one, which was around 9:30. So let's drag and drop this up. Okay, we got in right here. The scalper was suggesting to buy from way back here. This also, by the time I pulled the trigger, qualified for a great way to trade. So I took the trade knowing that I was just going to grab a few pips, possibly back up to the ADR high or up here to this area. But anyhow, when I finally decided to close the trade, I ended up with only 2 pips, not a lot, but 2 pips on the pound Swiss paid $217. Love the pro scalper, as it does give pop-up alerts such as this. You'll see box will pop up, tell you the time, the signal, price to get in at. Now I recommend don't take the trade right away, but I teach in the training videos how to get in a trade on a pullback. In other words, you'll get in at a better price. And I would also like to inform you that all trading systems will work less than 50% of the time. It took me 8 years and over 700 trading systems to learn that. Now, if you want to get that up to 80 to 90% success rate, you'll have to learn how to trade the flow of the market, which is what I teach. You will also have to learn trade management and money management. I have made trading the market simple and easy to do for all 3 sessions, including many ways to trade the markets. To be successful in trading, all you need is a lot of chart time, a lot of education. And just to let you know that I do have a lot of education, spent well over $70,000, and I do have a lot of chart time, well over 50,000 hours of chart time. And if you do not do what I've done, you will never succeed at trading. Keep in mind, the only thing I can help you with is I can provide a lot of education for pennies on the dollar. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This will encourage me to do more of these videos. If you leave your name and email address, I'll put you on my email list for free weekly trading tips. Okay, moving right along to the pound dollar. Let's see, run a check on this pair, drag and drop this up. Now, of course, when I took the trade, took it a little bit late, and I knew the most it would do is come back to the moving averages, hook around, and give me some pips, and it can still quite easily break the top and keep going. But nonetheless, let's see where I got in at. This cursor did go against me, but I finally ended up closing the trade, looks like with 5 pips, and 5 pips on the pound dollar paid $500. And of course, when I did take the trade, it's a perfect example of a great way to trade with a very high success rate. I do teach how to get in at a better price, such as this area and this area. But let's move on. Pound yen, let's see where I got in at. First thing I notice is it also qualifies for a great way to trade. That's using the moving averages and the indicators down at the bottom. And of course, you got to keep an eye on the meter. I would never trade without a meter. It still is very strong for the pound. It's more than 80%, and I would call that a bus driver. So the very best pair to trade rate at the moment, which I did trade, you'll see further down, it's the last one, and you will notice that pound New Zealand pumps out a lot of pips. But this is a bus driver, in other words, 20% or less, and 80% or more is a bus driver. And when you have two bus drivers, you can easily get over 100 pips within the blue box is what or the trading session. There's no guarantee that, you'll always get that, but there's a very high percentage that getting a lot of pips. So let's see where I got in. Went against me 12 pips, not a big deal. Looks like it's still going up. Could have stayed in for more pips if I was really, greedy. But I'm not that greedy. Looks like I got 9 pips. And 9 pips on the pound yen paid $643. I wanted to point out another very good tip is I always trade more than 3 trades, usually between 5 and 10. Today I decided to bump it up even a little bit more. And as long as you can manage the trades, which I can, believe me, after many, many years and thousands of trades, you should be able to manage a lot more than one trade. You can set it up. It's quite simple. Just set it up like so. This is the way I set it up, just to let you know. I like to look at least 3 pairs minimum, and I do have 3 24-inch monitors, so that allows me to keep a very close eye on minimum 9 pairs, just looking like this, and I can easily manage the trade like looking at it like this. Okay, moving on to the pound CAD. Let's see what this looks like. Can actually drop it down to the 5 minutes. Might get a better view, not saying I will. But remember that the Pro Scalper will work and only works on the 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So I took the trade here. Now it did do a pullback of around 28 pips. Keep in mind that a 10 or 20 pips stop on these pound pairs will not hold. But as long as you know the direction of the trend, you should be good to go. And again, closed out this trade, looks like with 11 pips, and 11 pips on the pound CAD paid $879. Put it back on 13 minutes or 15 minutes. Let's move on to the next pair, euro dollar, another pair I don't trade hardly ever, but let's see where I got in at. Now this trade here does qualify for a great way to trade using all the indicators. Remember, you have to master all the indicators. I was talking to more than one trader, and they have indicators, and they haven't got a clue how to read the indicators. and you have to know how to read everything on the charts, including the meter. Now also keep in mind, price action is always first, and then all the indicators will agree after. In other words, all indicators are lagging. There are a few that are either leading or in real time equal, but very, very few indicators will do that. I don't have a problem trading with indicators. They guide me into the trade, and then of course you got to know when to pull the trigger. Did go against me 7 pips, and I closed it out as it was hitting this top, and I'm glad I did. With 9 pips, and looks like 9 pips on the euro dollar paid $900. And as you can clearly see, if I didn't close the trade, I would turn a winner into a loser, which all new traders do on a daily basis. You have to learn trade management. Very important. Euro Aussie. Let's drag and drop this up so we can see where we got in at. Like, you got to know when to ignore the scalper. Like this little section here is saying it would say over here to sell, but you got to know, and I do teach by just going to higher time frames, analyzing the charts, and this also does qualify for a great way to trade. So there was too many things saying the market is going to go up. It only went against me, let's see, looks like 2 pips. And I closed it out over here, looks like with 14 pips. And 14 pips on the euro Aussie paid $1,083. Had a trader asking me how come many times they don't see any stop losses in. Well, I'm only trading an hour or so. And as long as I'm sitting right in front of the computer, for me anyhow, it's not necessary. But if you want to put in the stops and the targets, I use my auto stop here, which is included. It puts in a default, well, for me anyhow, the default is 40 and 20, but I put the stop at 30 to start with, and a profit at 100, as many times I'm trading the news. And as you well know, the market can move more than 50 pips in 5 or 10 minutes. So that's why I don't want it on 40 pips. Made that mistake one time, went up over 100 pips, and it cashed me out at 40 pips. And ever since then I said, I'm not going to fall for that trick anymore. Put it on 100. Now if it moves 120, I'm not going to cry the blues, because I still locked in 100 pips. Remember, if you change it, you have to save the template. Don't forget to do that. Okay, let's run a check on this next pair, dollar Swiss. We'll drag and drop this up. This is a pair, I can't remember the last time I traded it. Very, very clear. We're going down. Scalpers saying to sell. Looks like I got in at a pretty good price. Only went against me 3 pips, and I just decided to close it out right here. No particular reason other than being happy with 10 pips. And 10 pips on the dollars Swiss ended up paying $1,088. Now in the next pair, the Euro New Zealand. New Zealand is a bus driver. It's at 2%, so that means the Euro New Zealand, let's take a look at it first of all. Euro New Zealand. That means that this is still working its way up. See how powerful a good meter is? It's worth a lot more than what I paid for it. Drag and drop this up. Still going up, but I closed it out, the trade. I took the trade at this cursor, knowing for sure it's going to go up. This trade is a perfect example of a great way to trade. Very high success rate. Looks like I locked in about 21 pips. And 21 pips on the Euro New Zealand paid $1,500. Once you know how to read the meter and the market is starting to move, I teach exactly how you can get into price action. Moving on to the next pair, Pound Aussie. Drag and drop it up, see where I got in at. Another one screaming, a great way to trade. I knew absolutely with at least minimum 95% sure certainty going to get pips. And I ended up closing the trade here. Looks like 24 pips. And 24 pips on the pound. Aussie paid $1,857. Today was a fantastic day for trading because we've had more than one bus driver. The pound and the New Zealand. And I can't remember how much the Aussie dipped down here, but as you can see, lots of price action and movement within the markets. Now I'm going to show you this S&P 500. I trade this from time to time also. It moves quite a bit. Drag and drop this up. Perfect example of a great way to trade from way back here. Now I pulled the trigger here and let's see what I ended up getting. It looks like about now keep in mind that the S&P 500, there's only 4 ticks in each point, and this happens to be roughly 4.7. It's about 4.5, and each point is worth $50. So you do the math in your head. That's 4.5 points approximately. And with my lot sizes, that ended up producing $2,250. And on the last one, the pound New Zealand. And if you remember earlier, keep in mind that the S&P 500, the meter, there's no value to it. You're just going to have to trade looking at the charts, which is very easy to do. So pound New Zealand, you will see white in here, which represents the 2 pairs that you're trading. Pound is a workhorse. New Zealand's a workhorse. What did I tell you? You can easily get well over 100 pips. 143 pips and it's still going with no signs of slowing down. I could have easily stayed in the trade and made a lot more, but how much do you really want to make per trading day? I don't know about you, but I'm very happy. And as you can see, it still continued to go up. I could have made roughly double that, between 6,000 and 7,000. So anyhow, took the trade here, knowing with at least a 95% certainty I was going to be a winner, and perfect example of a great way to trade. I closed it out all around the same time, and I saw it hitting the ADR here. Closed it out with 43 pips, and 43 pips on the pound New Zealand paid $3,001. So another great day of trading and a great way to end the week. Pip total, I ended up with 165 pips, and 165 pips paid $13,922. So if your system is not producing these kind of results on a daily, all you have to do is look below this video. You'll get some information along with my contact information. It's a Pro Scalper System. I do charge $250 for. I teach how to trade the flow of the market. If you don't learn this, every system in the world you're going to struggle with. My Pro Scalper System comes with 4 gigabytes of training. Get an exact copy of my system on your platform. Now it comes with 5 MT4 templates, 10 custom indicators, and of course my favorite meter. A lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents, and that's what you're going to need. A lot of education to succeed. So I do teach a lot of ways to trade, and that's why there's 42 training videos. And of course, the way I love to trade every day is this very first one, a great way to trade. Perfect example of it on the right hand side. You can put this video on pause as we're running a little bit over time. If you have any questions, simple, pick up the phone and call me. If not, send me an email. And of course, I do prefer Skype. Click on this link and we will have Skype connection, and through Skype screen share, I'll give you a free session and answer all your questions. Now, of course, if you click on this link, you'll see 32 screenshots of all the different trigger systems I've been building over many, many years. So that just about wraps up this video, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next video, happy trading, and remember to keep yourself and your family safe, okay? Bye for now, and have a great weekend.